we'll go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. And they know mortgages like nobody else. Been doing it for 30 plus years. Help you with all sorts of different types of home loans. And remember, folks, the nice thing about a mortgage broker is they are not beholden to one bank. They can shop the market. They focus on you, the borrower, the home buyer, the homeowner, and what your situation is and what your goals are. And then they find the best solution for you, customized, if you will. And it's the really smart way to go about financing a new house. So if you want to talk to them, stop by the office at 114th and Dodge or go to eaglemortgagecompany.com. Okay, Trenton, let's get into the news. And first of all, we have a good sign for Omaha growth and development and the economy. Passenger traffic at Eppley International Airport was up 0.4% from the same month in 2019. And that, my friend, is the first time we've had a single month higher than a pre-pandemic month since the pandemic.
We'll take it. I think that people not only are itching to travel the world, but they're traveling. And
oh, yeah.
I think it seems like more than ever. I'm surprised it's only that amount, but I think nationwide statistics are probably more. I hear more about people going to Europe, people going south.
Well, and that's up 0.4 from that month in July of 2019.
Right.
It's up quite a bit from July last year.
Absolutely, no question about
And
it.
last year was not a bad year. I mean, I think what did they do like in the high 4 millions for passengers, and this year they should go well north, way up in the fives. So that's a good sign, and we're going to keep that momentum going. And I'm with you, Trenton. I've noticed just in the times I've been in the airport this year, pretty heavy crowds in the terminals. Most of the seats on the airplanes are full. They're generally flying pretty large planes on Omaha routes these days.
Have we seen any renderings? I know we've seen the renderings for the overhang, the $90-something million overhang, which is covered with the drop-off and pickup area between the parking garages and the terminal. But have we seen the rendering for the $600 million unit terminal?
We have, but only a very primitive preliminary design. The airport authority has not released any final designs. The only thing they've shown are kind of like a preliminary floor plan, if you will. Yeah. Like there hasn't, to my knowledge, in fact, it might not even be done yet. There hasn't been any exterior renderings of what the new terminal look like. There haven't been any renderings of what the inside concourse will look like. What we do know is that all of the gates will be in one long linear terminal as opposed to the two inefficient satellites like we have right now. We also know there will be a central security entrance for TSA. There won't be two of those, and it'll be way more efficient. We're told there will be a hell of a lot more food service and retail past the security gate. There's hardly any right now. The other thing that I've been hearing from a couple sources is there will be customs, so that if we land an international flight, we'll be able to handle that.
That's huge. So does that mean that the two sides, the current terminals, will be taken down eventually?
That has not been officially stated publicly to the best of my knowledge. I get the impression that one or more of them will be integrated into the longer terminal, but we shall see.
What do you think the over-under is, whether we're going to get a moving walkway?
I'm thinking it's more likely than not. So we can say moving sidewalks.
Or not.
So continuing on with the news, Bankers Trust will hold a groundbreaking later this month for a 2-story office building and bank branch to be constructed on the southwest corner of 192nd and Davenport Street. Next up, crews have removed several single-family houses this week just south of Dodge for an $82 million 330-unit apartment building. This thing will be 5 stories. The single-family houses have been removed. They still need to get rid of a long-abandoned old gas station right on the corner of 48th and Dodge, and then a couple of commercial buildings. They are going to save the building that for many years housed the Pittman Veterinary Clinic, That's a historically significant building. Cool 1940s
Yeah,
architecture.
congratulations to our friends at Access Commercial. They do a good job on those developments. And what's interesting is, if you get a chance, go to the Grow Omaha Facebook page, because it's a controversial project, and I want to know the people that are weighing in, and some people think that they should have either moved those single family houses that have got to be 100 years old or whatever, or just left them there. But when you're along the orbit and you're along this transit oriented corridor, it is about density. And I think the biggest concern that people have was the affordability of these market rate apartments.
Well, that's just life. I mean, the market is what it is. It costs construction. It costs a certain amount for construction. It costs a certain much to acquire land. Staffing costs a certain amount. And so, there's always this talk about affordability, and it is definitely a concern, but the market is what it is. And as far as that project being controversial, I know you're talking about some comments made on a Facebook page. I actually don't think it's all that controversial. I think what happened, if you go to our Facebook page, we have some very compelling photographs. Disclaimer, I took them. But there's some compelling photographs of those single family houses coming down. And I think it kind of triggered some emotions on people that saw it on Facebook. It's always kind of hard to see that. But yeah, this is a project that, as Trenton indicated, will be right on that orbit line. Good, dense infill. You're going to see a lot more of this, I believe, what with the Med Center expanding the way it is.
People got creative with your photographs as well.
I love those.
Fire-breathing dragon crane.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, there's this one picture where what do you call that thing? What do you
jaws,
have? It's like a huge claw-like jaws. It's like a monster's mouth. It's kind of like a backhoe thing, but it's way bigger than a backhoe, and it stretches up taller than a 1.5-story house. And I have this photograph of that big, huge tractor mouth about ready to crunch this roof. And so someone put Cookie Monster eyes in it, and
the other one put fire-breathing dragon with
it was pretty clever.
Wings and all that kind of stuff. And so I get it. There's a bunch of comments on both sides of the issue, but what I'm very excited about is that people engage, and sometimes people go off the rails, but that's part of public discourse, I guess, and we get a lot of views.
Speaking of things that are going to get torn down, Mystery Manor Haunted Theater has permanently closed after 38 years in business. The actual address is 716 North 18th Street. Creighton University acquired it for $425,000. Presumably, Creighton has been expanding pretty rapidly in North Downtown, and presumably they have plans for that site as well.
I think if you really want to make it Mystery Manor and you want to keep it, if you really want a haunted house, just let the vagrants go in there. And if people want to go through there, there might be some liability on Creighton's part, but it would really be a challenge, and see how you come out. You might have to sign a waiver.
Perhaps. Construction has started on St. Patrick's Catholic Church of Elkhorn. This is going to be their new building, because some of you might be saying, wait, isn't there already a St. Patrick's Catholic Church in Elkhorn? Yes, there is. It is located at 204th and West Maple, and that's where the school will remain. But the parish is moving the worship and event space to a 12.22 acre site northwest of West Maple Road and Big Elk Parkway. That's right about 186th Street-ish.
It's a huge site.
It sure is, and it looks big. The building will be just over 56,000 feet. They'll be able to seat 1,400 people in the sanctuary and accommodate 600 people, seated people in the parish hall event space.
It's a great location.
And we've had a lot of people in the last week write in, phone in. We can't possibly answer all of them because we don't have the staff for it. So sometimes we just announce the answers to questions on the show. But so many people say, what's going on at 186 in Maple? It's St. Patrick's Catholic Church of Elkhorn.
So I had some time, and I pulled a Jeff Beals, and I did a driving tour of Elkhorn and Maple, West Maple. And
yeah, I was proud of you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you. And I was impressed. I don't know if I'm impressed, but it's really, on a large scale, it's probably a new food group when it comes to residential housing. There's this area off 204th north of Maple called the trails, and it's single family homes, a couple different colors of paint, multiple designs. There's one whole street that's built out that people are moving into or live in. The other one isn't finished yet, but it's every one of these homes are for rent. You can't buy them. So there's one entity that owns them. I don't know if it's D.R. Horton or who it is, but it was DH something, I thought, but we'll see. But there's a place where a leasing office. I haven't seen the amenities where they're going to have common areas and pools and stuff, but it's different. We haven't had large scale single family rental properties that basically act like apartments.
And, that could be a discussion item for an entire show sometime about the movement towards rental units and away from home ownership in the metro area and in the country. And frankly, some concerns that could be springing up around that, but something we'll definitely keep our eye on. And finally, we have a sign of progress. In the past, we talked about a 4-story apartment project at 30th and Leavenworth. Well, construction fencing has been installed on the southwest corner, 30th and Leavenworth, like I said. The project is called Square Apartments, 4-story building, 73 units. And that should be, given the fact that the fencing is in place, kicking off fairly soon. And that is your growth and development news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.